You've always heard that you need to invest, but you don't know where to begin.
Don't worry, leave that to us. We've been teaching people how to invest for the last 8 years and have helped over 45,000 people get started with investing in a simple way. And now we've made the process even easier by creating a course that teaches you how to get started investing in 5 simple steps. And it's called our L.E.A.R.N method.
Before you invest, you need to 1. Look at your financial position. 2. Establish your personal goals. 3. Assess your investment options. 4. Research the best options for you. And 5. Normalize investing regularly.
With these 5 easy steps, you can start your investment journey with confidence and clarity. But wait, there's more. We've created templates and resources to help you take action right away. After this course, you will know how much you have to invest, your investment targets and timelines, and how to invest to achieve your goals. Register now at learngrowinvestclub.com.
All right, hope everybody is doing well. I wanted to do this stream to look into some of the companies that have released their reports for Q1. There's still some companies I'm waiting for. Atlantic Hardware is one of the reports I'm waiting to see. Let me see which other one I'm waiting for. I don't know if Indies released their report as yet. I think I'm waiting for Indies as well. And I've seen TransJamaican reports. I think Carib Cement report came out. So I'll go through the list as I go along, but there are a few of them that I was looking for. Some were what I was expecting, some weren't. Some surprised me, like Omni Industries surprised me. I'll give it that. So just wanting to go through reports because of course we're in the Q1 earnings season. If you don't know what that is, I'll break it down for you. And so I wanted to just go through and give you the chance as well to maybe ask your questions. If there's any company you want me to review, then I can do that as well. So that's the benefit of a live stream like this. All right, so I'll bring it up shortly. So just let me know in the chat which companies you want me to look at. That's probably a good place to start. So if there's a company you want me to look at, let me know. You can post that in the chat and I can go through it as a part of my review, right? So I'm gonna maybe look at 4 to 6 companies within the next hour or so. And so I'll try to kind of do like clean segments of at least like 10 minutes per company and then move on. Try not to spend too long on one company. I'll try to do like the chapters. I know sometimes persons ask for that. But let me ask you a question as I start is which companies are on your watch list for 2026? All right, so you can let me know in the comments. Woodcats. Okay, as the Terrence saying Woodcats. Woodcats, has their report come out yet? I think Woodcats is one of them I'm waiting for as well. I don't think Woodcats, let me check. $138 came out with theirs. I saw Ryan Strong talking about them on X. Oh, Woodcats came out this evening at 8 p.m. It just came out. So let's look at that one first. Let's do that. Yeah, Woodcats is on now. So reporters. So I'm gonna be seeing this live, right? I'm gonna be seeing this live. So report is here. Let's see. All right, so before I open it, tell me what you're expecting. Now, I have not looked at the report as yet. I did not know it was out. So let me know, is it gonna be a good report? It's gonna be a bad report? Is it gonna be, is there gonna be any growth? All right. Let me know what you think. Any Woodcats shareholders here? Anybody who bought Woodcats for the IPO? Levine said not spectacular. Okay, interesting. Now you make me not want to look. All right, let's have a look. So usually for these reports, I go through the highlights first, the MD&A, then I may look at the P&L. If it's underwhelming, then we kind of just move on. Firstly, I'm seeing that revenue is actually down. That's not good. To start with, so revenues are down. Gross profit is up 6% here. Gross margin up 4%. Profit before tax down 13%. Net profit down 13%. Right. So let me see what they have to say. Hope they have an outlook. So it says the work to expand and diversify the company is an ongoing effort. We introduced a new product line in the first quarter, and we're currently installing new machinery for our waste to revenue initiative. Their drive to diversify revenue from other markets intensifies, given strong queries and discussions with prospects in Eastern Caribbean as we look forward to growing our export profile. The company is currently modernizing its plant through the introduction of new machinery to drive efficiency. This move forms a part of their strategic plan to diversify their product and customer profile, which should augur well for the next 3 years in growing revenue and profitability. So you get a timeline there, right? So they said three years. The rise in oil and fuel prices is expected to increase some of their operational expense. So that is big, right? Because we haven't looked at the numbers yet, but they're already telling you or giving you a clue that they're going to have increased operational expenses for the quarters to come. Not even a quarter gone, right? With the company importing most of its key input, we expect to face higher freight costs as shipping companies adjust their rates. So what this tells me is that Q2, Q3, Q4 could be very challenging for them if we're already not seeing growth for Q1, right? So that's what that tells me even before I go any further, right? So they would have listed, that's the team. Not going to look at that right now. We're going straight to the report, right? So hopefully you can see my screen. All right, so revenues is down. We saw that the gross profit margin went up. That's good. Unrealized loss on investments, that's negligible there, 200,000. Admin expenses went up. Selling and distribution, well, that's one big thing. Impairment, finance costs. I think here, so finance costs went up. Is it just me or it's a little bit hard to read? Okay. I think I see where I am. I think this feels like it has too many lines, so it was a little confusing there. Taxation estimate there shouldn't be paying taxes going forward, so this is probably just a carryover. And net loss income being 14 million. Now you don't want to see a loss for a growth stock that just listed, right? You don't want to see them go in that direction because that's gonna impact sentiment, right? Because the price would have gone. So they've been listed for a while. So the price would have went down as low as 72, 73, and actually recovered, I guess, in anticipation for the report. So now that the report is out, the report is not necessarily, the report is not a positive one. They didn't show any signs of growth. The price may actually start to go back in the opposite direction, right? So just something for shareholders to bear in mind. I mean, they've signaled about rising costs operationally, so that could be an impact for them as well. And they've given a timeline to grow the business within about 3 years, right? So just something to bear in mind if you're a shareholder. It has been down 7% quarter to date. I mean, they're newly listed, so we don't have a long history of data here. At its peak, it was at $1.10. Let me zoom in. That looks very small. At a peak, it was at $1.10, and the most volume we've seen is 36 million units traded. All right. So that is Woodcats. What else do you guys want me to look at? Let me know. Let me go back to my original comment, which companies are on your watch list? Cygnus. With Cygnus, Humble Boss, you have Cygnus Real Estate, you have Cygnus Fesco. Fesco should be an interesting one. All right, let me look at Fesco. Did I do that one in under 10 minutes? I believe I did. I'm trying to look at the companies 10 minutes or less. I'm not spending more than 10 minutes per company. And I'll try and go through as much as I can. Now, Fesco year to date is up 35%. So we've seen some growth for Fesco. I know they had an amazing report the last time around. So we saw growth from in February. So they started the year at $2.89. They went as high as, I think, almost $5. Let me check the peak of the chart there, $4.80. Right? So that's very good. Volume, of course, 4 million thereabout. Saw recovery all the way down to 316. And then, of course, well, I was going to say something here. I won't give away anything here, but it would have been reasonable to anticipate that the report that is out now would have been good. I thought that would have been reasonable to expect. So if you were timing it correctly, there would have been an opportunity to benefit from some upside once you saw it go down to these levels. All right. Unaudited numbers for Q4. So let's go through it. And I'll try and do it in under 10 minutes. I have 8 more minutes to go. Let me see how this goes here. Image Plus and Fontana. All right, I'll go through Image Plus. I think did Image Plus Q1 come out? I don't think so, because their Q1 is March, April, May. Their Q1 is not out yet. So is their FY 2026 numbers that are out now. So this is a snapshot. So EBITDA up 32%. EBIT, this is earnings before income taxes or interest and taxes, up 40%. Profit before taxes up 58%. Net profit up 65%. All right. So the numbers speak for themselves. It increases its company operated service station footprint and increase overall fuel sales measured in liters, created a platform for enhancing its commercial propane distribution network, enhance and support its dealer-owned, dealer-operated service station expansion agenda, acquired additional LPG and industrial storage and dispensing assets, enhance the company's working capital via profit generation and retained earnings to prepare for bond principal payment of $300 million due March 2027. Okay, interesting. All right. Conclude commercial banking lines. I think they should have enough to repay this free and clear, get that debt down, get finance costs down, and then be able to unlock some value for their shareholders with that. Conclude commercial banking lines, so on and so forth. All right. Executive summary. I want to go straight to the numbers and the outlook, right? So this is it. So the one thing about Fesco I'll say is that their report is typically detailed. The pro to that is somebody technical like me. You get a lot of details. You can really get into the weeds with it. The con for somebody who's not very technical is that it may just feel a little overwhelming to read, right? So this is their Q4, and then we have the entire year. So I'll focus on the entire year. So they did 32 billion as opposed to 30 billion for last year. That's pretty good there. Gross profit went from 1.6 billion to 2.1. Admin expenses went up seemingly about 20%. It went up. Impairment losses up 18%. Operating profit from 658 million to 927. Let me see if I can zoom in. You probably can't see this. I'm in this column to the right. Profit before tax 764 million. Taxation 0 because I think they're still within their 5 years on the market. So net profit for the period 764 million as opposed to 461. And so that 300 million that they need to repay, they pretty much have the capital to do it. I think though with FESCO, and what I will say right off the bat, they need to have an attractive dividend, right? So they started repaying dividends last year. They paid 2 cents. So I think with current price, current profits, do they have a dividend policy? I don't remember it. 25% annual net profits. That's what the AI overview says. Okay, let me go here. So 25% annual profits means 25% of this 764 million. I have 4 more minutes to go before I have to switch companies. Let me do this quickly here. 764 million. I like to round up. So we're gonna multiply that by 25%, right? So that's 191 million. Let me look at the shares outstanding. Did I do divided by? Yes. Not correct. Million, billion. That's a 7-cent dividend. So they could, well, no, their policy says 25%. So this would mean that the dividend is going to increase significantly. They normally announce it all the way down later in the year. So you may not see that announced until later on. But was there a dividend consideration? Yes, this was from last year. So there's a dividend recommendation, then declaration around September. But this would mean that their dividend is going to increase based on said policy. So that is something that we should see. That bodes well for shareholders, right? So let me see what that yield looks like. A 7-cent dividend at 391 current price. That's still small, right? 1.7%. That's not an attractive dividend for me. Existing shareholders may be holding from IPO may say that's good because I think their IPO price was 80 cents, right? So if you're doing it based on IPO price, that's 8%. I'm sure IPO shareholders would be happy about that. At current prices, though, that's not an attractive yield, I think, based on where they are. But excellent performance, significant growth, and so they'll be paying down that debt, I'm sure, next year. That's due March 2027, and they will continue to grow and do well. So kudos to FESCO for that. So friends, yes, I do have a US portfolio. We actually talk about the US market in our level 3 program. We don't really cover it here because I feel like most of our audience is not really there yet. We did plan to do some content around it, but it's just been, kind of delayed, right? But yes, we do talk about it from time to time. Levine says, if they pay again, no, so it's due. Notice, sir, it is due. It's a bond, so the bond has to be repaid. So what do you mean if? So what they could choose to do is refinance, but they don't need to, because if they have the money to pay it free and clear, why not do it? And then let me see their finance costs. For finance costs was 45 million. I don't know if that's only from the 300 million, but if you can clear your debt, not have any finance costs, you realize more profit, it's win-win for them. So I don't see why they wouldn't do that. They should pay a dividend. What do you mean? It's their dividend policy. So since they paid last year, I don't see any reason why they wouldn't pay this year. Is what I'm thinking. We're at the 10-minute mark. Let's switch to another company here. Let me try cargo handlers. I haven't looked at them in a minute, so let's do that one. All right, shout out to those joining us on Instagram. If you have any questions, just let me know. So these streams, we're just pretty much reviewing companies on the stock market. If you have any investing questions, stock market questions, just let me know. I'll take them, right? If you have a company you want me to look at, let me know in the chat and I'll try to have a look. And that's it, right? So just let me know. If you have not started to invest yet and you want to learn, there's a level 1 course that's completely free that you can take to help you get started. All right. So cargo handlers, you are next. All right. So cargo handlers actually up 14% today, which is interesting because I think their report was not good, but I'll check. It was released. I heard it wasn't good, but maybe the person was wrong. I don't know. It's strange to see the price go up when it was not good, but who knows? All right, so let's read the MD&A first. So we're pleased to share the results of our performance for the 3-month period ending March 31st, where they achieved 103 million in total revenues. This result was 19% or 24 million below the 127 that they did last year. Operating and admin expenses were 3% below what they were previously, and operating profit declined 55%. So they're saying this, and yet the stock would have gone up today, which tells me that investors are still bullish on the long-term, prospect for the company. The fact that it's gone up upon the report coming out. That means, well, it's not a lot of volume, but it just means that whoever wanted the shares were willing to pay a higher price for them, at least in the short term. It's gone as high as, I think, $21 in the last 52 weeks. It's at $17 now, right? So I think the shares are tightly held. So that could also explain it, where investors are like, they want to own as much shares regardless of the short-term performance. They want to be able to take advantage of, longer-term upside. So with the reduction in warehousing capacity caused by the hurricane, the importation of smaller shipments of cement via Port Montego Bay has negatively affected their performance. The reduction in tonnage of cement transported per vessel, however, is a short-term measure, while the restoration of the warehousing facilities on the port continues post-Hurricane Melissa. So they had an 8% decline in cruise revenue as well. So Montego Bay was fortunate to have been able to salvage its cruise home porting season after a devastating Category 5 hurricane, and so on and so forth, right? So I'll skip the rest and see if there's a focus on outlook. There's no outlook. They're being optimistic about the future, and so on and so forth, right? So these are the numbers for the Q. So revenues down, gross profit down, admin expenses have gone up. So operating profit less than, I think they said, about 55% down. And so it was not a good quarter for them at all. EPS is down as well. But I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that the shares are in fact tightly held. Let me see if it shows in the report, the top 10. This is 82% for the top 10, I believe. So there may not be a large float outside. So we know Kingston Wharfs did say they may be increasing their stake up to 40%. So I think the market might be anticipating that. And then we see some other shareholders here. I thought it said Nigel Clark, It says Nigel Cook. Yeah. All right. So that's cargo handlers. Let me know what other companies you want me to look at. All right, let me just take a quick break here and give myself a rest. You've always heard that you need to invest, but you don't know where to begin.
Don't worry, leave that to us. We've been teaching people how to invest for the last 8 years and have helped over 45,000 people get started with investing in a simple way. And now we've made the process even easier by creating a course that teaches you how to get started investing in 5 simple steps. And it's called our L.E.A.R.N method.
Before you invest, you need to 1, look at your financial position, 2, establish your personal goals, 3, assess your investment options, 4, research the best options for you, and 5, normalize investing regularly.
With these 5 easy steps, you can start your investment journey with confidence and clarity. But wait, there's more. We've created templates and resources to help you take action right away. After this course, you will know how much you have to invest, your investment targets and timelines, and how to invest to achieve your goals. Register now at learngrowinvestclub.com.
All right, so let me go through here. So friends, let me know which company, which US company you'd want me to talk about. Let me know that as well if you're still here. So Cygnus is the one that's being mentioned the most. So I can check out Cygnus. Kingston Wharves. I don't know if I want to look at them again. I think I looked at them before, but we did do an interview with Kingston Wharves last month. So if you have not checked that out yet, be sure to do so. We did it on our other YouTube channel. Netflix. Okay, cool. Omni Industries. Oh, yes. Thank you for reminding me about Omni. I forgot about them. So Omni really surprised me, guys. Omni surprised me. I must say, and the stock went down today. Look at that. Omni really surprised me. I must say, I don't get surprised a lot. So it went up Thursday to $1, and then started to go down. Oh, so we have some impatient sellers there. All right, Omni first quarter. All right. 1 in a million, Marsha. Weren't we supposed to speak? 1 in a million, Marsha. I think you had asked for help last time. I think I tried to DM you. I don't know. I don't remember. I'm sorry. I don't know if it makes sense to look at TJH USD. It's not very liquid. But I can, well, depending on if I have enough time, I maybe can look at TransJamaica. I feel like I talk about TransJamaica a lot. So I'm trying to scale that down a bit. But if we still have time after I've gone through a certain amount of companies, I may give them a review at the end. Made more than half last year profits in the first quarter. That's Omni. Wow. Okay, so let's see. Executive summary here. All right, so this is Omni Industries. The first quarter of 2026 was shaped by global logistics disruptions, persistent inflationary pressures, and cautious consumer sentiment, both developed and emerging markets, right? I think they could have phrased that sentence a little differently. Locally, Jamaica's economy remained relatively resilient. It's a lot of R's. Let me scroll through here. Including sustained supply to post-Hurricane Melissa recovery efforts and ongoing activity within the construction sector. Okay, that's what they're citing as a reason for growth. While this growth remains encouraging, we continue to monitor the uncertainty surrounding fuel prices, particularly the current upward trajectory, which may influence input costs in the short to medium term and ultimately affect product pricing. This is interesting to see them say, because I'll tell you why. If I know I just had possibly the best quarter they've ever had, this kind of note is kind of saying to me like they maybe don't believe that they can have this good a quarter again. I mean, at least that's how it reads to me. Right. So it says, while this growth remains encouraging, we continue to monitor the uncertainty surrounding fuel prices, particularly the current upward trajectory. So on one side, you could say, well, they just want to temper expectations. They don't want you to assume they're going to have the same quarter. That's one way to look at it. Another way to look at it is that we don't necessarily think we're going to do this quarter again. So it depends on how you read it. I know that was my initial reaction, which may influence input costs in a short to medium term and ultimately affect product pricing. So I get the concern. I just wouldn't phrase it that way. But I get it. All right. In response, management continues to employ strategies aimed at mitigating potential cost increases, including renegotiating inventory cost terms with suppliers where possible and maintaining disciplined procurement and inventory practices. And then they're listing what they're doing. And I'm looking for the outlook. Where's the outlook? I mean, I like the breakdown. That's not bad. Where's the outlook? I did not see an outlook. So I wish companies would have an outlook to let me know what to expect. All right. Okay, let me go straight to the numbers then. All right. And then of course the breakdown or the commentary is good. So if you need any context, they'll provide it there. It's just, I think, a weird layout for me based on, but it did say executive summary, so I give them that. All right, so 3 months ended March 31st, up 693 million. So they did a total of 2.1 billion for 2025, and they did almost 700 million in one quarter. But again, based on that comment, I'm not sure. I would expect another 700 million quarter, maybe around 500, 550 thereabout. But even if they do 500 for the remaining quarters, I mean, 500 for the remaining quarter is actually not promising. They'd probably do the same number. It's so weird. Like, I would wait to see what Q2 would look like, but that summary tempered my expectations. So even if I was expecting them to have another good quarter, it kind of brought me down. So it's kind of strange. Laverne, you said you felt the same way. I mean, I don't know if it was just me, but it as a shareholder or as a prospective investor, I'd be reading that, be like, yes, we're making good progress, so on and so forth. Then it just kind of brought me down. Cost of sales 433, so the gross profit up 80 million. Yeah, that's pretty good. Admin expenses, something that I watch closely, that's up 10%. Selling expenses up 20%, it looks like, and factory expenses, I've never seen it broken down this way. I'm actually happy that they did that. So all of these are up, right? So 176 here. Maybe their factory expenses is based on how much they're doing. Maybe they have people working overtime, etc. So that maybe I'd be curious to understand these expenses. Did they have that in their breakdown? Factory expenses. No, they did not. Did they? Okay, I don't think they did. All right. Where was I? So operating profit almost tripled, and finance costs still there. So I guess they're paying down some debt, and of course, no tax, being a junior market company. So net profit up significantly. What's their dividend policy? Omni Industries not to declare a dividend. Oh, that's what they said last year. Interesting. What was their dividend consideration? Up to 25% net profits. So they certainly can't announce a dividend from last year. Could they? 145, 25% of that is about 36 million. 36 million divided by 2.5 billion, that would not be a good dividend at all. So they probably, yeah, I don't see them announcing a dividend for now. Yeah, I'm not gonna go through any other statement right now. So that's Omni. Great quarter. I kind of throw some water on my on my excitement with that for sure. All right. I received the TransJamaican dividend the other day and it was okay. What's the difference between the USD and JMD? I'm very new to buying stocks. So 1 in a million, Marsha, you should watch our level 1 course. You can join our level 1 community. We're having a meetup next week, Friday. You can ask your questions, get help, and things like that. So join our level 1 community and you can get the help that you need to get started investing. Now, if you want to take the next step from that, you can join our level 2 community, which is $8,000 JMD per month to learn how to invest for yourself. All right. All right, which company am I looking at next? I think I can review maybe 3 more companies. Not going to look at Guardian. I can look at, let me look at Sagicor Select Funds. That seems interesting enough. Oh, I was going to say, I think somebody had asked about Image Plus as well, but we just did an earnings call with Image Plus, right? Image Plus that's on our investor relations channel. Let me just do this. So some of you may not know that we have multiple YouTube channels. So let me just point out that one. Oh, who won game 6 for the Pistons? Did Cleveland win? Ooh, the Pistons forced game 7. Wow. And the Spurs are leading the Timberwolves. I really wanted the Timberwolves to win, but that's not looking good. 46-27. That's not looking good. And Cleveland lost. So they lost at home. Game 7, James Harden. I'm not seeing that happening. And that's not gonna go well. So I know the Knicks. So I'm rooting for the Knicks. So if the Knicks get the Pistons, I probably have a good chance to make it to the finals. If the Knicks get the Cavaliers, they're probably not going to do so great. That's interesting. All right, so let me investor relations. So I'm just going to point out to some that we have an investor relations channel. So we did the earnings call for Image Plus yesterday. So that one is there. We did the earnings call for Dollar Financial a week ago. And we did the interview with Kingston Wharfs here. And we did the interview with RPL for their launch of QPR and so on. So check out those interviews if you have not seen them before. But it's on a brand new YouTube channel, all right? So we have our Grow Your Wealth YouTube channel, our main channel, that's the one you're watching this stream on our investor relations channel. So we have 3 YouTube channels under the Learn, Grow, Invest brand. All right. You're welcome, 1 in a million, Marsha. All right, select funds. Let's see. I think this is going to be a good year for select funds. I think this is the year we'll actually see some growth. You said select funds financial. I'm bullish on the manufacturing, not the financial. So who was that? Noel. No, well, I'm actually, yeah, I'm not a fan of the financial one. I don't think the financial sector is going to do well. So I'm not bullish on Select F. I'm more bullish on Select MD. So Omni is Select MD. So for example, let me show you. So this one is up 11% year to date, and Select F is down 14% year to date. So I've always been bullish on the MD because the manufacturing companies tend to do better than the financial companies in the last 3 or 4 years. So yeah, I'm not bullish on the Select F at all. Right? So my only issue with it is how it's weighted. There's an outlook. That's great. All right, so let me show you. By the way, and this is a pro tip, right? What I do when I'm looking, the reason why I look at Select F and Select MD so much, they do this nice little listing here, which shows the performance of the index and the manufacturing companies. So this will typically show me if there is any manufacturing companies I should have on my radar. So you notice here, West Indies Petroleum has gone up, Jetcon has gone up, Fesco has gone up, Wisinco has gone up, DTL, Carreras, RPL, etc., etc., etc. So I would usually use this report and get a feel for what manufacturing companies should be on my radar using the data that Select gives you in their reports, right? So I really like that about them. This though, is Omni even in this list? Isn't Omni manufacturing? Wait, Omni is not on this list? That doesn't make sense. Isn't Omni manufacturing? So my issue was always the weighting, right? So the portfolio weighting is what I look at. So for example, Carreras is 21%, right? Carib Cement 14, Wisinco 13, GK 11. So if you combine these, right, that's 25, third. So it's about 60% of the portfolio, and this just says repo. Like I don't even know how that got there, what that, if that's like a temporary replacement, but 5% just says repo. I'm not sure if that's a thing that they can do with it. I'm not sure. I don't understand why Omni is not in this though. What would be, because I'm sure Omni is manufacturing and they have West Indies Petroleum, which was added after Omni. They have 0% of it. And that's very strange. I don't know if that makes sense to have. Yeah, but no. So how I believe it worked is that once a company was listed and in the index, it would have added at least 1% of it. But that's a little disappointing. So this is what I look at. So they got some income, so that's good. So that's significant growth. Admin expenses $7 million. Is it? Yes, expressed in thousands. So the EPS went up, but it will fluctuate per quarter based on how it's weighted. So if you're going to buy Select F or MD, look at how it's weighted to determine if you want to own those stocks and all of that, right? So that's what I would be looking at. But that's actually disappointing that they don't have Omni. I'd want to know why if I was a shareholder. All right, I wanted to look at West Indies Petroleum. So JGH, look for the Dollar Financial earnings call that we did last week to hear our thoughts on Dollar Financial. Okay. So I look at West Indies Petroleum and I probably end the stream there. West Indies Petroleum, I am very curious to look at. I don't think I went I think I went through it once. So the price held firm today. Interesting. Very interesting. So 730%. I'm gonna love to look at this number for all of this year. I don't know if you'll ever see this level of growth again. But of course, 50 cents all the way to $12. Yeah. All right, let's go to that report. When do you think we will get to see Woodcats' first report? So we actually looked at it already. The report is out. The report was not good. The numbers were down. So if you're a shareholder, I'd go and check out that report and then determine how you want to move from there. So how do you buy Select F or MD? It's a stock that's listed on the market, so you can purchase it just like you would any other stock. All right. If there are any other questions, just let me know. I can answer. Let this be the last company I look at, then I'll take, questions for the last few minutes. All right. So if you have any investing questions, just let me know. All right. So this is West Indies Petroleum. I was like, why is that at the start of the report? Quarterly report for Q1. All right, significant event in the quarter. So in January 2026, the US launched what it calls Operation Absolute Result. Never heard about that. A major military intervention resulting in the capture of Venezuelan president. Oh, that's what that was. Okay. With President Trump announcing that the US would directly manage the country's oil industry to ensure stability and secure interests. Right. As reported by the BBC, the US is now actively utilizing licenses for companies like Chevron, BP, any Repsol, Shell, etc., to rehabilitate the dilapidated oil infrastructure and to reroute oil export to the United States. Where else, right? The impact on the industry. So with the renewed Western investment, the production trend was expected to rise from just over 1 million barrels per day, though infrastructure requires decades of investment. With new legal framework, which removes the requirement for state-owned oil company to hold 60% stake in all projects, foreign firms are expected to operate more freely. The expectation was that the US domestic demand would have seen critical shortage of lighter oil being addressed. The market expectation was that the US would use the reserves to influence global prices. The experts are of the view that the state of the PDVSA, that's what was stated earlier, means any significant impact on global oil prices will take until 2030 or later. I wish they would translate that to English for the average person like me or you, because I have no idea what that means. Maybe Renee can tell me. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, is what I'm saying. I like the fact that they're including these details, though. Once these strategies are implemented by the government to reduce demand, the company is projecting a decline in throughput volumes, which may impact its Q2 2026 results. All right, so there you go, guys. That tells you what they're expecting. I'd rather just look at the numbers. So let me do that. Is this it? No, this is not it. Yep. All right, so expressed in United States dollars unless otherwise stated. So this is not Jamaican, guys. So don't say they only did 2 million Jamaican in revenues. This is US. So 2.4 million, that's a 20% increase in revenues. So total revenue is up. Admin expense is increased by about 10%. So operating profit is up. This looks like almost 30%. Finance costs have gone down. They're paying down debt. Profit before tax almost doubled. And net profit for the quarter is up significantly, right? Now, they did, again, give you kind of like a caution for Q2. So just bear that in mind if you're a shareholder. All right. So EPS grew. And this is in US dollars. Throughput volumes invoice. So the volumes would have almost doubled. So, okay. They're headed in the right direction. So the price has been holding steady at $10 thereabouts. So I mean, if you were waiting to be a shareholder, you're waiting for the price to go down, I would say the price has been holding steady with, I mean, not great volume, but we know that it's tightly held already. So if you're interested in being a shareholder, I mean, you might as well buy at these prices. I'm not sure if you're going to get it much lower right now, but it means production will be slow to come online for their oil fields due to heavy investments needed to bring it up to modern standards. They can't compete as is. Thank you for that. That helps me, right? All right. So, guys, I have 8 minutes to go. Let me take your questions. If you have any investing questions, I'll take them. If not, I'll just end the stream early. I know somebody was asking about TransJamaica. Do I need to look at the TransJamaica report, guys? I think we already knew it would have been good. I don't know what else to say. Oh, Chess King Davis, Cygnus. I don't know if I have enough time. All right, I'll pause to see if there are any questions. If there are no questions, I'll look at the Cygnus. All right. Are there any questions for me? What I will say about TransJamaica is that I am expecting a great year from them. I think that it went to an all-time high today of 719. Was very happy to see that. And yeah, I mean, it's one to watch for sure. All right. And I will say as well, I will definitely do this shameless plug that I hope you checked out. You know what? This gives me a reason to look at TransJamaica, because I would love to demonstrate our handiwork. We designed, that's Learn, Grow, Invest Limited, designed the annual report, the 2025 annual report for TransJamaica. So it's something we're very happy with, very happy about. So so check it out and, let me know your thoughts in the comments. So I thought, it was a well done report, well executed by our team. I really like the design. So you guys can let me know what you think as well. So yeah, like a report we're very proud of as a company. All right. So check it out when you can. But yeah, today went to 7, closed the day at 711, went as high as 719. Not their average volumes, well, about 4 to 6 million volume, but there's so much I could say if I had time, right? I only have 5 minutes left. I'm not going to get into it. Up 54% year to date. I would just say what I'd be looking for TransJamaica, if you're a shareholder or you're trying to get some insights as to the company, I would be look at their prospectus, look at last year closely, look at Q1 closely, look at the annual report closely, because there's a lot of valuable information in their annual report. And then I'll just say do some math. is what I'll leave you with. All right. Michael says, which US stock would you concentrate your portfolio on? Interesting question. Now I have shares in Nvidia. I'm up 100%, I think. I need to double check my Interactive Brokers account. I haven't logged in a while, but I'm up 100% on Nvidia. Before that, I was heavily concentrated in Microsoft. And I sold my Microsoft last year to buy TransJamaica at the offer for sale. And so it's only Nvidia in my US portfolio right now, but I am going to be building or rebuilding my US portfolio very soon. It's really hard to pull away from the local market because I think that there's so many opportunities in the local market, but we are going to be discussing the US markets more for level 3. So I'll probably start to rebuild that portfolio just to demonstrate how you can do it. But if I had to choose one stock, Microsoft, I think, has done well over the past few years and continues to do well. And I'm biased towards tech, right? So tech companies, media companies, that kind of thing is what I'd focus on. All right. TJH 10 to 20 JMD stock, give it some time. Okay, I read that wrong. Okay. Can I explain the TJH 8% offering? Yes, I can. So the 8, so when you see a company with a percentage, that's a preference share. So there's a TJH 8% preference share. So it means when you own that based on the price that it was listed at or first purchased at, you get 8% yield on those prices. So you get, I think, a dividend 4 times per year. But the preference shareholders are being repaid in stages. So do the preference shares trade? I don't think I've ever checked. Okay, it does. It does trade. It's up 0.4% year to date. It's up 13% quarter to date. So you can buy it. It's just that you may not get a large amount of volume, but so that's how it works, right? You can purchase it on the market as well. You just have to calculate. I don't remember what the listing price was. I don't know if it was $1. I'm not sure. But you get 8% on whatever the original price was. Maybe it was 141 for the IPO. I'm not sure. I wasn't, following it the whole time. All right. But hopefully that helps you. Sorry, Chess King Davis. I'll look at Cygnus the next time I do one of these streams. All right. All right, everyone. So thank you so much for joining me on a Friday night. Lavain said $1.41. Okay, so it's grown 40 cents since. That's 20%, 30%. So it is tradable. But the 8% is going to be based on whatever the listing price was. So it's preference shares, meaning the focus is going to be giving you a consistent dividend. I would only be concerned depending on how much you're purchasing, what the liquidity would be. So I would look at the average volume and see if the amount I'm purchasing is within that. And then if it is and you're comfortable with it, then you can take a position from there. All right. All right. So thank you, everyone, for being with me on this live stream. We're having our level 1 community meetup next week, Friday. So if you want to learn how to invest, you want to join our free community to get help on your investment journey, you're more than welcome to join us. The link is in the description of this video or in our bio over on Instagram and LinkedIn. So we're here to help you to learn how to invest. For those who are entrepreneurs, you manage your brand, etc., we have our content challenge going on right now. We started it tonight. It's a 7-day content challenge in our Grow Your Wealth community. So you can feel free to join us over there as well. So we're going live 7 p.m. every night for 7 days. We did day 1 tonight. You can follow us at Grow Wealth Conference on Instagram. And we have a Grow Your Wealth YouTube channel as well. And for level 2, we meet next week, Saturday, for a monthly investment class. For level 3, we have your hot seat. tomorrow, level 3 members. And that's it. So have a good weekend. I'll see you on the next one. You've always heard that you need to invest, but you don't know where to begin.
Don't worry, leave that to us. We've been teaching people how to invest for the last 8 years and have helped over 45,000 people get started with investing in a simple way. And now we've made the process even easier by creating a course that teaches you how to get started investing in 5 simple steps. And it's called our L.E.A.R.N method.
Before you invest, you need to 1. Look at your financial position. 2. Establish your personal goals. 3. Assess your investment options. 4. Research the best options for you. And 5. Normalize investing regularly.
With these 5 easy steps, you can start your investment journey with confidence and clarity. But wait, there's more. We've created templates and resources to help you take action right away. After this course, you will know how much you have to invest, your investment targets and timelines, and how to invest to achieve your goals. Register now at learngrowinvestclub.com.